How would the current status of Mr. Assad in Syria be viewed? What acts would be within the province of that group
Right.
to prevent further
Right.
massacres and so forth?
Syria is case number one. It is unfolding before our eyes. I think you can make a very credible claim. The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Navi Pillay, has certainly made this claim now, that the conduct of the Syrian government constitutes the beginnings of a crime against humanity, systematic, widespread assault on a civilian population in many different populated centers of Syria, with death tolls. I mean, get this, we're looking at 50 to 60 deaths a day on the streets of Syria now, literally. And that is organized. Someone is organizing that coherently in terms of police crackdowns on civilian population. So it's ripe for investigation. And I know that before the Security Council, one of the first steps one would take in atrocities prevention is to see if there's anything the Security Council could do in a preemptive fashion to try to dissuade that kind of conduct. And of course, one would be the Security Council actually referring Syria to the International Criminal Court for investigation. That is so unlikely, as we know, because of the Russian and the Chinese attitudes on this situation at the Security Council. But nonetheless, that could be a step. And of course, there are so many other steps that we see unfolding now: economic sanctions, diplomatic sanctions, isolation, getting the Arab League to come in and apply as much pressure as possible. All of those are the types of options that you would have on a policy-making table for atrocities prevention. You'd have your checklist. Military intervention is always the last option. But also, you want to make sure that it's not too late on military intervention. So it's a very, very fine calculation. But I think we're all sensitized now to the need to understand that atrocities are underway, that the leadership has some role in the commission of those atrocities, and we need to get on top of that. I do think that President Assad, unless he's being away from the news or being very poorly advised, he has to understand that he is exposing himself ultimately to judicial risk. I mean, that's the new world. I mean, if he thinks he can somehow walk away from this without being exposed to the risk of judicial prosecution, whether it be before a future Syrian court, and don't underestimate that possibility, think Egypt, or the International Criminal Court, or even a regional court of some sort, he's delusional. You know, he has to understand that that risk is out there. And other leaders have mitigated that risk in their performance after understanding that there is a judicial risk out there.